Hey, it's Jason. Welcome to WordPress Foundations. This is Module 9, Writing a Post. This is where we actually get our hands a little bit dirty and start having some fun. So before you start writing your post, the first thing you need to think about is, well, what's the big idea? So what you need to do is just come up with one idea. You don't want to have like 10 different ideas. You just need to have one narrow focused idea. So come up with that idea. What's the main point, the main topic, the main reason behind you writing this article, and write this article with that one single-minded focus. If you were like a stealth bomber and your mission is to go destroy a target, you don't destroy a whole town or a whole city, you just blow up that one target. So whenever you're writing your blog post, you don't go out on a sermon about 50 other different things. You just write about the one post. So if you're writing a nutrition advice or a health advice, you would only write about that one topic. Like, for example, exercise. Here's a routine. Go out and do it. That would be your blog post. You wouldn't be like, you wouldn't write a whole book. It needs to be something that's catchy, something that's quick, something that's focused, around 600 to maybe 1,000 words. Next, you need to come up with a headline. The headline is very important. If you write any kind of copy, or if you know anybody that writes copy, which is basically copywriting, somebody that writes ads, somebody that makes sales letters, sales pages, little advertisements, what they do is they spend a lot of time coming up with the headline, because the headline is very important. Sometimes we'll spend several days, sometimes a week. Sometimes we may even just write something and leave it sitting there and come back to it in a month or so with the perfect headline. I mean, the headline is like the ad for what you're writing. If the headline doesn't entice somebody to read the article, they're not going to read the article, they're not going to read your sales copy, they're not even going to look at the ad or click anything. So you need to spend some time working on your headline. I would probably come up with the headline first, maybe write about 2 or 3 other headlines, and then go ahead and continue on with the article. And when the headline, it needs to be something that you need to just think about this yourself. It's one of the mindsets I explain inside the blogging mindset course is you need to think like your reader. So if you were inside searching Google and you came across this blog post, the one you're writing now, would that ad or would that headline make you want to click on it and learn more? If the answer is yes, then you're in the right place. If the answer is no, then you need to go back to the drawing board and work some more on it. Here are some things that you need to keep in mind. First thing is readability. This is the internet and this is the web. Everybody's got ADHD now, so no one's going to sit there and just read your big long article no more, especially if it's hard to read. So you need to design for optimal readability. This is one of the reasons why I recommend the thesis theme, which you can get at iwantthesis.com, which is designed basically for readability and SEO. I actually have an article that I'm going to be showcasing here inside this video that I wrote that teaches you how to design for readability. I'm actually going to use that as an example to showcase how to create content that's highly readable. And another thing you want to do is whenever you're writing your post is you want to try and have some lists throughout your post, so that people can see the list and scroll on, read some more lists, scroll on, read some more lists. One of the key secrets to blogging is to create link bait. And one of the things link bait is it's just a whole bunch of things. It's like a list of things. Like, here's the 50 best WordPress plugins, or here's 70 ways to increase whatever, 70 ways to increase your bench press, or 1,000 different logos that you can create with this one action, or whatever. It's a ridiculous amount of things. I mean, people spend days working on this stuff, right? You got to go compile all this content and then format it and put it into a list so people can read it. This is the kind of thing that offers massive value to people, and it's one of the things I teach inside the Blogging Mindset course. So what you do is you just basically come up with a list of things. That way when someone reads it, they're like, oh, wow, this is important. I need to share it with other people and share it for myself. So lists are very important, and they keep your stuff highly readable. Next thing you need to do is you need to have a call to action. There needs to be a reason behind what you're writing. So when you're writing this thing, what do you want the other person to do, right? That's what you need to keep in mind. Next thing you need to do is spell check. This is important. If you don't, you ain't going to be able to read whatever it is you wrote, because maybe you're meant to say one thing and you said the other thing, or you just completely misspelled something to the point that no one on this planet knows what you're talking about. Right? It happens all the time. I've done it a bazillion times. It's very important. So what you want to do is make sure you run the spell check feature inside the dashboard of your WordPress. There's actually a button over there near the button that says everything including the kitchen sink, and now do your spell check. Another thing you can do is you can just copy all of your text and put it into Microsoft Word or Google Documents and then run a spell check inside of there. It's pretty cool. Next, you want to do a grammar check, and I highly recommend using After the Deadline. This is a WordPress plugin. It's totally free, and what it does is it checks your grammar for you. You click the button, and then it's going to highlight stuff in green or red, and then you need to click on it and edit it. It's really cool. Next thing you need to do is have a cooling off period. So after you've wrote your article, you've came up with a few headlines, maybe and you've designed it for maximum readability. You know what the reader's supposed to do at the end. You need to let it cool off for a little while. No, the absolute shortest time would be maybe 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Just let it cool off and come back to it. Go out, do something else, take a walk. It's really productive if you go out and take a walk after you write your article, because naturally you're going to go out and you'll be like, oh man, I just created this article. It's going to teach people this. Oh wow, I could add this, or oh, this would be a better way to open, or ooh, this would be a better headline, and so on and so forth. It really gets your mind to just get out of it and then create better content. But even what's more profound is if you publish your article right away, you're not going to notice some spelling errors, some grammar errors, some mistakes, because it's so fresh in your mind. But whenever you take that little break and you come back to it, it's like you're just reading it for the first time, and that gives it much more immediacy, and you can see clearly. So it's very important to have a cooling off period. I recommend at least 30 minutes for a blog post, and anywhere up to maybe a day or two. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and choose a category and add some tags. So when you think category, you think generic, and when you think tags, you think specific. So tags are like keywords, and categories are like subjects. So you had math as a subject, and maybe you'd have calculus, which would be like a specific form of math, and that would be like maybe your tag or something. That's like a keyword. So this is the end of this part of the video. The video actually happened to run just a little bit too long, so I had to break it up into 2 pieces. So follow along with the next video. If you're on the WordPressFoundations.com website, it's going to be right below this one or on the next page. If you're following along some other place, then you need to probably just check for the next video or log in to WordPressFoundations.com, which is totally free, and you can continue from there. All right, I'll talk to you soon.